is how we do.
We keep 'em rocking. Just come on, shake, shake it, baby, baby, baby. Shake it, mama, shake it, mama, shake it, mama, yeah.
Very, very, very true. The craziest thing that I see when I'm going down the freeway, being a flatbedder, is I see loads not being secured properly.
Oh yeah.
You know, and there's been times I've seen stuff flying off trailers. You know, I remember my show truck, my Kenworth, I had the blue W9, just got out of the paint shop, everything else, going down the 405, and this construction truck had all kinds of boxes, spray paint and everything else. It starts flying out of the truck, and I ran it over. My truck, I just spent over 30,000 customizing it, and I ran over his spray paint and blew it all over my truck on my new paint.
Oh.
You can't catch up to people like that when you're in a truck and they're just taking off. It was a four-wheeler, so it's you got to be careful of that kind of stuff.
Well, just last week, right here on 14, a hay hauler lost his whole load.
What?
Yep. Yep. South 14, all lanes were blocked. Hay was everywhere.
How do you do that?
Yeah, I don't know. And my daughter saw it, and so I said, well, was it the driver was just getting on the freeway? She goes, no, it looked like he was just right there. So could have been coming from Nevada, load of hay, and got tired. Yeah.
Oh, he crashed and lost it.
Yeah, just flipped it. Yeah, all southbound 14 lanes blocked. Yeah. What I wanted to talk to you a little bit about also is January 1st, 2016, the rules changed. And what happened with that is that the D.O.T, they came in to California and said, look, we all need to follow the same rules. Well, California said, no, we're good. Well, then they came back and said, no, really, we need to follow the same rules, and California, if you do, will compensate you for this. So, of course, Sacramento said, money, we'll take it, let's do it. And so, as of the first 2016, that's why now the BIT program, the BIT program, is no longer called the Biennial Inspection of Terminals every 2 years. Yeah, you'd see me every 2 years come into your location, your house, whatever, and say, hey, it's time to inspect. Now it's still called BIT, B-I-T, but now it's called Basic Inspection of Terminals. And how they're doing it now is if you get a ticket or inspected, and I have the book here, and it's the whole thing that it goes through your logbook, it goes through your driving, it goes through your maintenance, it goes through loading, like Rick explained. And just for instance, it's called CSA, your CSA score. Well, everyone starts out at 0, but then if you get stopped and one of your headlights is out, there's 4 points. Or if you get, they pull you in and you have a tire that's worn, there's 8 points. And if the tire is so worn or flat that you're put out of service, there's 2 extra points, so 10 points. Now, if your CSA score gets up to, they said anywhere from 70 to 75, then you're going to get a warning letter saying, hey, warning. But in reality, they're saying, we're coming to check you out. And what's sad is, like every 2 years, I'd see Rick and his dad, and hey, how's things going? Good, let's do your inspection. All right, we'll see you in 2 years. Now, if your CSA score is too high, now they're coming in because you are in their computer and you're pulled out of the main computer and put into the trouble computer, saying these scores are too high. And so what they do is, it's like I could pull up here that operating a commercial motor vehicle with more than one license, 8. Operating a truck without a CDL, 8 points. Operating a learner's permit, 8. And it's so what they'll do is then say if you're inspecting, like, oh, it wasn't too bad. I had one tire that was worn a little bit, and I had one light out, and I had this, but then you had 20 points. Well, in the first 6 months, what they do is they score it. First 6 months of your inspection, it's times 3. So that 20 goes up to 60. And then that 20 goes to 30, because that's as much as you can get on one inspection, 30 points. The only thing is, then the next 6 months up to the year, then it's times 2. Well, 40, you're still at 30 points. And then for the last year of a 2-year cycle, now it's times 1, so now you have 20 points. But that's one inspection. So then you get inspected again and a couple other. So boom, 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 your points are going to start jacking out. And so again, reach out to Rick. They're, oh, well, one light, that's not that bad. No, but if you start adding everything up, and one tire, 10 points. That's all I got. One tire, that was it. And yeah, he put me out of service. 10 points. Well, in the first 6 months, there's 30 points against you. And then the second 6 months, now it's 20 points against you. And for the next year of 2 years, now that alone is 10 points against you. And add up your other inspections. Add up. They have speeding. If you're from 0 to 5, it's worth this. But if you're up to speeding, smoking within 25 feet.
They have smoking on there?
Yep. Driving, all your drivings are 10 and 7 points. So 7 times, there's just for stupid logbook ticket, 21 points for the first 6 months. Yeah, so it can add up real fast, and that's what I do. Guys call me and say, Doug, help, I got this letter, they're coming to inspect me, help. So what I do is I go out, I do the inspection, but then I look through all their maintenance records, driver records, everything, and make sure, like Rick said, get their ducks in a row. Make sure when that inspector comes, and I've actually been at a few of my companies when the inspector came in, now I'm sitting on this side of the table, and the inspector's coming in. And I know them, and so they're like, hey, what are you doing here? I'm like, well, that company now hired me to make sure everything's good. And what the company owner told me is, say, hey, Doug, I want you on my side, and you can give them everything that the inspection needs. And I go, no, I'll give them everything the inspector asks for. I know what they need, but if he asks, I'll give it to him. Well, after the inspection, he even asked me, how did I do? And I told the inspector, as soon as you sign that report that we're good, then I'll let you know. So when he did, I signed it, everything was good. I said, you forgot 2 things. Yeah, but you made me nervous because I trained him how to do the inspections. So it's just reach out and get information. But these points will kill people.
Yeah, speaking of those points, I mean, you can build up 60 points pretty fast. How high does it go up to 1,000?
No, because once you get to the threshold of 75 to 80, boom, then it's on their bad computer, ding, 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 something's wrong. Yeah, because I had one company, their maintenance was good, hours, but one of their drivers got popped, his license had expired. And they let him out there, so his license was expired, boom. Or an accident. Even if it's, not your fault, you're in an accident, in the computer, it says you were in an accident. So then they will come in and say, hey, you've got this accident, that's what brought us in. Oh, and since we're in here, let's go through everything. Even if it's not your fault. If you're in a truck yard and someone, bam, and they write up, you were in an accident, the rear of your trailer was all dinged up, but it's like, wait, it's not my fault, but the D.O.T., they don't care. What you have to do is, that's another thing, reach out. You have to keep an accident register. Where it happened, when it happened, if there was a report written by any agency, all of that. So if D.O.T. comes in and says, hey, we've got 2 accidents, yeah, and here's my accident register, it wasn't my fault. Oh, okay, we're out of here. But see, the computers are stupid. The computer just knows an accident was registered. Doesn't know if it was your fault or their fault.
And the crazy thing is, the trucking schools don't teach any of this.
No.
All the stuff we're talking about, these guys don't know coming out of school.
No.
How sad is that?
Yeah.
That's sad.
And that's the thing is though, with some truckers, when I was at Castaic inspecting there, I inspected, I don't remember what it was System 99, one of the union companies. And so I inspected him and said, hey, you're out of service. And I go, but it's not that bad. So just take your truck out there, back it up over there. And he looked at me and he says, I don't back up. And I laughed a little bit and I go, no. Just take your truck out there, back it up over there. And he goes, I'm union. I don't back up. So I'm like, serious? Okay, take the truck, take it to the end of the yard, make a U-turn, park it over there. He goes, I can do that. So I asked him afterwards, serious? What do you do when you get into the yards and you have to back up to docks? He goes, we don't. We get out of the truck, the yard guy will back it up, and then when it's done loading, unloading, they'll bring the truck out and let us know we're ready to go. Like, wow. But he knew how to back up. He said, I just can't do it because he was union. But some of these newbies coming out of these schools, yeah, I wouldn't want to be the one in the back of them saying, come on back, come on back. No. And some of them, I don't want to be in the front saying, go forward, go forward.
I don't even want to be in the yard.
Man, now the CSA scores, does it max out at 100? Before they start pulling your authority? Or
no, what happens is you will come in at, like I said, 75, 80. They'll come out and inspect you. So basically, then what they do is they put you into another computer that they are observing. So did you learn from our inspection, and now they see your score going down? But if it stays or keeps going up, then they'll come in and they'll actually padlock. They'll shut you out of trucking. They'll pull your authority. You will have no authority to operate your truck.
Yeah, one of my buddies, I don't want to mention his name on camera, but he's in Acton. Yeah, his company starts with L. At the end of it's Express. His name is Mike.
Yeah.
Can't mention his company though. He had a driver's been with him for 4 years, and all of a sudden that driver went haywire. He ended up getting like 2 or 3 speeding tickets.
Oh, yeah.
And then another one of his drivers was pulled into scales or whatnot, and was parked for 10 hours for log violations, 3 times. This is all in 1 month. All in 1 month. He finds out his score went down the toilet. And here's the funny thing. Drivers don't tell you nothing, right?
Of course not.
So he's got the pre-pass. So he keeps going to the dang scale and getting red lights. What the heck? Why do I keep getting these red lights? Where'd my green lights go? Well, what happened is his score plummeted down. And if you guys have pre-pass and your score's trash, you're going to get nothing but red lights. You just wasted your money on the pre-pass.
Yep.
And on top of that, guess what? Now they're coming to that house to audit him, or to his company address to audit him.
Yeah.
The whole entire bit inspection, audit, everything, because of that score.
No, they will.
He was so pissed off. He got home, he found out what was going on. He fired both of them on the spot.
Yeah.
Just fired them both. So he has like 5 truck note payments, and 2 of the trucks are parked.
Wow.
You know, and he talked to me about it. I told him, I said, look, I said, when the DOT officer shows up, just show them that you terminated the people, and that's going to make you look good. It's going to show you're on top of your business.
Right.
You can't control what drivers do, but you control what happens after that.
Right.
And 1 violation is whatever, things happen. But when you go and you get 3 logbook violations, they park you 3 times, or you got to sit for 10 hours each time. That's 30 hours.
That's a lot of money.
Out
of your pocket.
So he went through the inspection just fine, and the guy told him, hey, you know what, your score's going to go up now. So now he's happy. So that stuff is serious, and the problem is when you're a small fleet or something like that, you don't know what the driver's doing, nor can you control it.
Right.
And by the time you find out what they're doing, your score is hammered. So you got to react fast on it.
Yeah, and that's the only thing this ELD will kind of help, is because before, you're relying on your driver, turn in their logbook pages, and you're supposed to review them, making sure they're good. Well, at least the ELD, the back office, he can just go on his computer, upload it, and then he can review, just going through the logbook pages and making sure everything's good. Because right before, you'd have to wait until the driver would turn in the pages to you. Then you'd look at it and like, what the, you know, a week ago you did what? And that's the first you heard of it. Whereas at least with the ELDs coming, you have almost real time that you can, hey. But these ELDs also, they have sounds on them, bells and whistles, that you have 30 minutes or you can put it to an hour. Your 30-minute break's coming. You better find a place to stop and take your 30-minute break. Oh, and that's another thing. When you take your 30-minute break out there, that D.O.T. regulation, do not sit in the driver's seat. One of my guys got a ticket for it. He was parked in a nice area. He's sitting there. He's on his phone playing his games. And next thing he knows, bam, bam, bam on his door. And he looks out, and it was, I think, Arizona or New Mexico. And the officer said, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Oh, well, sir, I'm taking my 30-minute regulated mandatory break." And he goes, "No, you're not." "Yes, I am." "No, you're not." Not sitting, because it was hot out, so he had the truck running air on. He goes, "Not you sitting there in that driver's seat behind the controls." And he goes, "Well, what should I have done?" "Get out of the truck or move to the passenger seat or go in the sleeper. But you sitting there, you are not." And boom, wrote him a ticket. Yep.
You guys hear that?
Yeah.
Watch that 30-minute break. See,
And in court, that holds up.
Yep.
they don't teach that stuff in school.
Yeah.
They don't teach it all in school. Another thing that somebody actually texted me a couple of days ago, because he was going to miss the live feed, which we're not live now. He he was asking about firearms in trucks, and his question is firearms in trucks in Cali, how to correctly transport it, and with a CDW or without is my question. If you can address it, I would really appreciate it.
Yeah, usually I know when they used to pull them in, when I was at the scales, they'd pull them in. And I actually had Yosemite Sam come in. And I understand you guys, you know, you're in places in LA, there's places you're at. Because one of my guys, he was in the back unloading his trailer. His wife was sitting in the passenger seat. Two guys jumped up and both had guns. And so that's why he said from now on. And what he had is he had two 45s right on the steering column in holsters right there. And from that, because he said, yeah, he didn't know anything about it. They knocked his wife over the head and they ripped everything off, the purse, everything. Ripped out of the truck and gone. He comes around and his wife's bleeding and like, what? So I understand, but as far as weapons in a commercial vehicle, even if you have a concealed permit, you'll want to check, because you know you're in LA, but then you're in Santa Monica, and then you're in Long Beach, and then you're in Lancaster. Well, there's different guidelines. So what I would do is just ask, you know, call up the local sheriff, the local highway patrol, local PD. And some of them will say, oh yeah, as long as you let them know. Saying, hey, officer, I have a gun right here. But most of them, what they do is you know, some of the trucks, they have like safes in them, little safes. That's where they'll put their weapons. They'll put it in there.
Yeah, but if you have it in the weapon, I mean, something's going to happen and it's in the safe. You're not going to have time to put it in the code and try to grab it either.
Well, but the thing is a lot of them, nothing's going to happen while you're driving. But when you're sleeping, when you're there, then you can have access to it. But that one there, that one's above my pay grade, because I don't know every location. What some, you know, well, hey, that Doug guy said I could do it. Yeah, well, you know, print hard 3 copies. And now you're going to the Gray Bar Motel. Yeah, so that one, I would say you have to reach out and ask.
A CCW, California, will cover you in a lot of different other states, but there's a reciprocal website that you can go to, and it'll tell you which states are reciprocal or agree to you having a CCW, concealed weapons permit, carry concealed weapons permit in their state. You can pull it up on the internet, just put in CCW, other states or all states, and it'll show up, and it'll tell you that. Now, as far as the rules of the trucking industry, you need to find out. And again, that vehicle code is probably going to be your best friend, and it's going to tell you a lot of stuff about what you can and can't do. I would research that. Laws change every year. Different states have different laws. They don't, even though your CCW is good in California, it may not be good in Utah, okay? So keep that in mind. Do your research, find out who's reciprocal. The other thing is getting back to the trucking industry. That's a different ballgame. Even though a person has a CCW, sometimes you can go to these college campuses in certain states and you're not allowed to have it. You're allowed to have it in that state, but you're not allowed to have it on a college campus. Same thing with the truck. You know, that's a commercial vehicle.
Right.
You know, you're on the job, so you need to research that.